first edition of the analysis update, which is going to be a little bit better than it used to be. I'm going to work on this a little bit more. And today we're going to be starting off with the solo lane. We're going to have a look at some of the games from the weekend. And we're going to start off with SK Gaming. Now, as you can see on the screen right now, currently just setting things up for the first one. I've tried to make this as realistic as what the player would see on their screen. The only thing that's going to happen during this game that clearly I can't get rid of in Spectator is you can see through walls, as you can see on your screen right now. You can see, over there you can see where Repicas is right now. And also the map's always going to show where everybody is. But if we get to a point where we need to check line of sight, we will always just go into third person view and just go over the head and just go like, can you really see that person? And then go from there. So we're going to be starting off with Maniac today from SK Gaming. This is the game against Agilitas at the weekend. It's a really good one just to start us off and talk about what's going on in the game. Now, the replay's quite long, and we're just going to go through what he does that's really good, and stuff that you guys can learn from what Maniac did to begin with. And the first thing we're going to talk about is going to be itemization, because we're going to have a few minutes at the start when not a lot happens. Now, he sat in base for a very long time at the start of this game, because he was like, do I get this? Do I get that? What should I go? I mean, if you don't realise this, we'll just skip back quickly one more time, and we'll have a little look at exactly what he starts off the game and buy. So if you notice, when he's purchasing his items here, we can see all his itemization down here and what skills he's going to level as well. He starts off picking up the talisman because he's considering going straight for magical resistance, especially against someone like Vulcan, who he's going to be laning against. It's not bad to have some extra health and some magical protection in that situation. Get some wards, get a health potion. But then he sits there and reconsiders a little bit more about, is this the best idea I can start off with? So he's not against a Vulcan. I'm lying. That was a mistake. Oh, he is. No, that's on his team. I'm looking at the red side. That's me being silly. He's against the Ra. So he's like, well, I'm against the Ra. Actually, it's going to be a farm lane. He shouldn't realistically be able to kill me. I'm not going to go for the talisman. I'm going to go straight for the Death's Toll and just get some extra sustain in the lane and be able to push the lane a little bit harder and keep up with Ra. Because that's where you can struggle really in the early stages as Vamana, is your wave clear. You want to be trying to max your 3 as soon as possible, just so you can wave clear effectively. But against the Ra, it's going to be a tough ask. So he was late out at the base, there was no invade at the start, but look where he goes. He's got 2 wards on him immediately, and he's late out, but he's still not too scared, but he's got to place the ward nice and early, just in case there's any early invades. And that can happen when you're on the speed side sometimes. You can get invaded with the speed buff here. When you've got a Vulcan jungle, his level 1's not going to be the strongest, and neither is yours as the mana, realistically, to try and deal with a counter invade. And with that ward coming over the wall, it's definitely safe to have a ward there just to see what's going on. The team is on the wrong side. That is true. We will just pause and quickly fix that. It had to be that way round, didn't it? Just to be a pain in my backside. Come over here. There we go. Thank you for the update, chat. Good guys, chat. Right. That looks a mess. Okay, we'll just have to put it on this side then. Leave it against the wall there. There we go. Trying to make it look good. Right, that'll have to do. So, it's on the wrong side of the map now, but hey, he'll handle it. So, he helps him drop the speed buff down, straight over to his blue. Doesn't have Hog at the start, but with Vulcan and that amazing turret, the turret will be able to tank up most of this damage at the start of the game. Straight to lane, nothing crazy coming out at the start of this one. They're just looking to push in, especially against Raw Humbats. You can put some early pressure on, that'd be good. Notice how he didn't use his 3 there in the lane. Did you see that? There was 3 minions left when he got to lane. He decided not to use that just to try and push it. He knew that the turret and the minions would push. So just threw out the 2, and that dealt with the issue for now. Now he's not saved a bit of mana, because his 2 is actually quite expensive in terms of mana costs on mana anyway. This time though, nice fast clear, uses both his abilities, pushes into tower, and a nice full wave for Ra and Repicas to deal with here under the tower. But, that cost Comfrey 3 abilities that time round as well. It allows Vulcan to push out straight away and invade the jungle. And look where he goes now. He's looking to see if he can catch Repicas rotating, or see if he's actually rotating. He doesn't spot it. He doesn't spot the rotation, but he does check his angle to make sure he's not getting invaded on. But he did have a ward down as well anyway, as you can see there. He was just keeping an eye out whether he needed to follow or help out. But it's fine for now. And now he's on sort of farm mode, because solo's generally all about the farm mode and not taking too much poke. And as we said at the start of the game, you do get pushed pretty hard as Maniac. Notice one thing as well. I'm just going to go back, because this isn't a thing about This isn't a thing about Maniac. It's more about Zero's playing this jungle Vulcan. Notice how he's left the turret in the jungle and he's not taking it down. So Vulcan's still getting experience in this lane at the moment because his turret's hitting towers. Remember that. Your turret still hits towers, which means you can still get experience and leave it in lane. So, a bit of a Vulcan thing for you there. Every single time he takes a minion wave, if you notice he goes looking around the jungle, he's going to place another ward to make sure he's got some more vision. And he's just keeping himself nice and safe for the most part. He's not sitting in lane for no reason. If there's nothing to do, he just leaves the lane. He actually sits in the heal a little bit there. He was trying to get minion aggro onto him, but he was just too far down, really. Playing it safe now, he realised Ra's push is going to be a bit stronger, and he's a little bit behind in terms of experience because Vulcan shared some with that turret a little bit longer, so he's got to play a little bit safer here. Pops the health pop preemptively there, just because he feels like Comfrey might go for the all-in play here while he's still level 4, and that's always a scare thing when the opponent is a little bit further ahead, that you can go for the aggression. So he pops the health pot just to make sure that if he goes in this minion wave here, he'll be okay, he'll be able to hit level 5 safely, and not have to worry so much. Farms up the wave, and straight away disengages. He's not trying to trade. There's no reason to try and trade against the Ra. It's going to be very difficult, especially with the sustain he's got. And at this level of the game, with only Death's Toll, is it realistic that you're going to be able to pick him up? Probably not. So don't be looking for trades all the time with your opponent. Just look to farm. And that's exactly what Maniac's trying to do. Although he's quite a bit of poke there, honestly. He should have seen the Celestial Beam coming in that situation, so he could have played that a little bit better than he did. Straight away, out of lane, not trying to push those minions into tower, it's not going to happen. Straight out of lane one more time. And look what the timing is right now. Both these solo laners are rotating for these mid camps. They're both trying to get here to help out. They've already pushed the lane, and if you can keep your lane pushed like that, you can get involved in a fight like this. So he gets hit by the ult, backs away. It's not the greatest of fights for his team. And overall, Badger gets picked up, and that was a late big baby overall. We'll watch that back a bit in slow motion if I can get this to... No, let's go further back. Further back. Why are we still in big... Oh my god, there's a giant baby on the screen! I have bugged the client. This is the best day ever. So, giant baby, which is only a small baby, but we're still going to follow it anyway. Comes into the fight. And we'll have a little look at what actually happens in this, even though we're following a ginormous Vamana. This would be OP if he stayed in this form all the time. Anyway, so you see the Vulcan ult go out. So Vulcan ult's already on cooldown. Badger's only level 4 there. He gets hit by the Humbat's ult, which forces him away. And then they look to re-engage as well, but Badger's already dead overall. Gets hit by the Celestial Beam as well. Wing Gust, this was just a really good play from Agilitas. And without vision of how many were there, he didn't have Captain Twig with him in time. He popped Big Baby a little bit too late there. Tried to re-engage and help out Badger, and that's why he died in that situation. Giant baby mode engaged indeed. So what can we take from that? Well, realistically, when Badger died, he did try and help out his teammate. That's what he was looking to do. But he wasn't tanky enough yet. And he didn't really have anything that could deal... There we go. He didn't really have anything that could actually change that fight. I guess they were looking to try and re-aggress and make that play back, but it didn't work out for them, unfortunately. So Maniac goes down 1-0 in it, sorry, 0-1 in his lane right now. And on top of that, if he checks his lane opponent, Ra did pick up a kill and assist, which means he's behind. He's got a Warlock Sash to deal with. But straight back to base, picks up the Emerald Talisman. Now this is one screen you should be getting used to seeing as well. He's only farming minions under the tower. We'll talk about that later, but right now we're just looking at... You should be pressing tab at all times. Keep an eye what your opponent's built. He's built Warlock Sash. He's going to be tanky. He's going to have some extra health in his kit. And look at this invasion. Maniac rotates over, tries to support his team out here. Unfortunately, didn't land the 3 onto him there. If he would have landed the 3, he probably would have been a different situation there. In the end, Prime does escape because Maniac doesn't connect with the 3. Good rotation though to help his team. Look how he rotates as well. He's pushed the lane out. He didn't stay in lane to push even harder. He just rotated immediately and helped protect the speed buff. And in doing so, he's going to get some experience from that speed as well. So he's not lost anything in lane from leaving just yet if he gets back there in time. His blue buff's up as well. So he should be able to bring this down and get back to his tower just in time to soak up most of that experience. I think he'll lose 2 creeps. We'll say 2. Let's check it out. Looks like it's going to be 2. So that's 1 being hit. Maybe 3. It's going to be 3. I will have one quick thing about this as well, is when he goes to the lane in a second, I'm trying to speed this up again, just to get through this. This is one thing you all need to learn as well, because it's a very, very small thing, but a very big detail as well. When he gets into lane, and we'll see this on the screen now. We'll see him go for the back minions first. Archers deal the most damage to the tower, okay? They're the ones with the real damage, and they're the guaranteed ones that won't be focused first, all being well. So when you actually see on this side of the map right now, he'll focus the archer minions to begin with, pick up the gold from them, and then he'll look at the melee minions. But notice what he does with the melee minions as well, once he's cleared these. He doesn't focus the one being hit by the tower because he's not going to get gold from that. He'll still get experience from being in range, but he won't get gold from that. He'll go for the other one. He doesn't get it, but he tries. You know, try and get the minions that are not being focused by the tower. The moment that he's hit by the tower, he's like, well, forget it, I'm done. It's dead anyway. I'm not going to be able to get any experience from that. Sorry, experience gold from that. So, back to lane one more time, and Confrey, the raw bot as he calls himself in chat right now, is sat in lane with that Warlock Sash, waiting for the late game.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So once again, back to the farming situation that is the solo lane. We'll speed this up a little bit because it's a long game, and the laning phase of solo is not something very exciting. They're just both waiting to farm realistically. The one advantage that Ra has in this lane is the autos. He can hit his autos from range, and unfortunately for Maniac playing for mana, he has to be in melee to really start connecting, or waste abilities and mana on bringing him down further. So he's just going to play it very, very safe. Look, once again, Maniac's already rotating. He knows mid camps are up soon. He's looking for an opportunity to maybe go there. But they've got wards, so they know no one's coming. And they can also try and keep an eye on where Comfrey is, so Comfrey can't rotate for these as well. And after the last fight in the mid camps, I expect to see, you know, SK will play a little bit safer. Now with Twig going down, they're probably going to lose right camps. Maniac has to consider rotating, but he knows Ra's already left with that push. He's going to be late to this fight. But what can he make happen? He's cleared his wave. And now he's heading back. He's going to head into this fight, see if he can help out his team. A little bit late in the rotation, in honesty. But there's not a whole lot he can do here. He can just really sit and go, well, there's nothing I can do. Back to lane we go. But notice how Comfrey rotated immediately. He pushed a wave and left Maniac in a bad situation where he had to choose between minion farm or choose between rotating and helping his team. With Twig going down, though, already before that fight, Maniac probably made the right call of just staying in the lane a little bit longer, honestly. I don't think it would have been a good fight for them to try and take in that situation. So back to base one more time, now has Stone of Gaia online, and that basically means, Ra, we are not fighting, and if we do, we're not going to kill each other. That's generally what that means. It's going to require jungle ganks now in the solo lane for either one of these two to die.
Your middle tower is under attack.
So right now, beside the game, have a little look at your gold as well whenever you return to base. When you're just wandering through the jungle back to your lane or back to lane, just check out 4.2k. You've also got Ra at 4.9k. He did get 2 mid camps. He's also got a kill and an assist. On top of that, there was one other thing that I was going to say. He did just farm an extra minion wave there that you would just lay back for. That's all. So 4.9 to 4.3. So you're 600 gold behind roughly, and that's generally coming down to the mid camps. And on top of that, the kill and assist that he's picked up. On top of that, you did miss a couple of creeps to the tower as well, so... Just gonna sit in lane all day. There's no reason to try and fight. This is the thing about solo lane. Some people do this in all lanes as well. Like the hunters do this as well sometimes. Just realise, if we fight, we're probably just gonna get rotated on and die if we overextend. Now they'll trade waiting for minions. It's only gentle love taps. Taps of love. Just to remind everyone who they are. Maniac immediately rotates for this fight. This was a good rotation for me. He realised he pushed the wave and he realised he was getting aggressed on him mid. So he immediately, listening to the comms, he rotates. He knows he's got Ron on his back, but he has to get here to help out his team because he might be able to pick something up for his team here. And that rotation on the backside, he's going to be able to zone out. Unfortunately, Comfrey came with him, and Comfrey does a good job there overall for picking up the kill. Maniac was the first one to rotate, but Maniac following suit. Sorry, Comfrey following suit. Did a really good job of picking up the kill. But Maniac tried to rotate there with his team. Notice how he did that as well. There was nothing for him to do in the solo lane, but the moment he heard the calls and realised what was going on, he left lane. And so he was looking for the right opportunity wherever possible to try and rotate in this game and help out his team if possible.
Your right tower is under attack.
Oh, back to base one more time. We're working on the boots, looking for the warrior Tabby, just for his extra mobility so he can start pushing his way through the lanes. Notice how he passed through the jungle as well, because he's actually able to get himself some free experiences. Zeros is on this side as well. Maniac always seems to pass through the jungle, doesn't go through the lane. It does mean you can check your camp, see if they're still up as well. Bring it down blue. And we'll speed it up a little bit. Now he mainly walked to the corner there. Maniac mainly walked to the corner there just to check out the mid harpies and make sure they were clear as well, to see if they were still available, or just to get the timer on them. So when it actually does respawn, they will show on the map for him. That's what he was looking to do there overall. That's why you saw him walk to the corner just to see what's going on. And Comfrey's trying to be cheeky and back in front of him, like, no, please, please, you are not backing in front of me. That's just rude. How very much dare you? And then he just gives him a bit of a love tap, and Comfrey's like, well, fine, I'll farm another wave then. I don't need to back just yet. I've still got mana. I've got blue buff. So, back to farming. They both got blue buff on. Now, generally, when you've got the blue buff, you want to try and stay in lane as long as possible and farm it up. But Comfrey realises he's got plenty of time before the next minion wave. Just going to pause just to explain the minion waves. Keep an eye. You can only see your wave. So, at the moment, you know, Maniac's red side and Comfrey's blue side. So, Comfrey can see that his minion wave's not even going to reach here for a very long time. By the time he's bought and come back to base and come back into the lane, you'll see that he'll be back in time for the whole minion wave. He probably won't lose anything, because the minion wave takes quite a while just to pass this first corner and get here. So it's an opportunity still to back at the moment. And on top of that, he'll be full health, full mana, and have a blue buff ticking for the cooldown as well as the regeneration. So Comfrey won't be looking to, you know, back again for another while. So, one thing to note from Maniac now is that when he goes back, he wants to be keeping an eye on what Ra has picked up at all times, just so he can keep an eye on what's going to happen with him. Notice how now Maniac backs, he's got nothing to do here, he can't fight. Now he's looking for a possible invade or something available to him, just going to clear out his options. Or disappear off the map. He realises he can't go back and buy anything, he's only got 1,000 gold. He needs a little bit more gold to be able to get his warrior tabby online, so he's like, okay, I'll just circle the jungle and make sure nothing's around. There's a Gold Fury fight going on, he's immediately going to head over to that one now. The comms calls come out. He's going to be there a little bit later than Ra, because Ra pathed differently overall, and he thought about coming over a little bit late. So Maniac turns up a little bit late to this fight overall. Pops the sprint to get in range as quick as possible. He realised he had to get it quick. Doesn't land the 3. Pokes out. Got to give Real some room. Real's going to go down there. There's nothing he could really do to save him there. And he realises this fight is bad, but they know with Replicas coming over the back, Big Baby gets popped. He's just trying to force a disengage with that Big Baby overall. So now he's going to try and tag up the front line here. What he's looking to do is kill the minions. You'll notice he'll focus the minions realistically to try and stop them being able to push the tower. But he's not got the most effective wave clear. And with 4 members there, he's got to be careful of the taunt coming online, because he's got Big Baby who's on cooldown. As you can see, another 60 seconds. So he's got to give that one up. He can't do anything there. He realises that. Back to lane we go. He does have enough for his warrior tabby now. But with that extra minion wave just coming in now, and he knows Comfrey's not going to go back to base just yet as he based, he comes back to lane. So he's going to come back to lane, farm this wave, and I expect to see him recall as soon as he's cleared this next wave. And that's exactly what he's going to do there. Just use his one, get away. And Comfrey might realise this. I'm not sure if he does. He doesn't. So straight back to base, buy his warrior tabby, get those online. And then he'll be looking for his next item. Picks up a ward for himself as well, as you can see. And he'll be back in lane for the next wave of minions. So, the start of this game is not looking good for his team. Now, going back to what I was about to say, is that when your opponent comes back into lane, I kind of waited for Ra to get back to be able to make sure. So, Ra went back, got what looks like he's got his shoes and the Magi online, and now he's got the Lost Artifact. Probably, realistically, in this situation, could be Rod or Tahui, could be Chronos Pendant. More than likely Rod, I'm going to say. I can't remember exactly what he built, but there's no real reason for the Chronos. The cooldown's good, but do you really need the mana as Ra when you game blue buff all game? Not so sure. We'll see. I might be wrong. Once again, clears the wave and leaves the lane. He can't fight Ra. They can't fight each other unless one of them makes a mistake. He's got 2 level advantage now, does Comfrey, and that's down to the Gold Fury, it's down to those mid camps overall, and that's the kills as well. It's all plays a big part of how you get ahead in your lane, especially in a farm lane like this. So, places this one, as you can see, he knows the blue buff's due up soon. The pings were going down saying he's in that area, he's looking at the blue buff, and everyone knows it's respawning. Notice how he did this as well. When he actually did this, the check of the blue buff there, he knew it should be coming up soon. Why? Because his blue buff's up soon. And generally, at the pro level, you'll see people keep these on cooldown. And if you actually are in games where you've kept track of your opponent for most of the game, you should know whether or not they've kept their buff on cooldown. If they have, it'll be spawning relatively the same time as your own. So if you do get an opportunity like Maniac did, go and check and see if it is available. You might be able to get yourself a free pickup. So now with that ward he just placed over this side, even though he's not getting ganked right now, he's able to give vision to his team to let him know where the jungler is right now. This could allow mid to go aggressive, this could allow the solo to go aggressive if there was an opportunity for them. Nice bit of poke on him there, overall. But immediately you can see a big rotation coming in, and this is where it could get a bit dangerous for Maniac, and he's going to play this well if he does get rotated on. He's dealing with 2 members right now. They're trying to push him down, but he's playing safe at his tower. There's no reason to try and fight, you know? There's no reason to back either. You can still wave clear. He's still got his 3 available right now, as you can see online. So as soon as this wave comes in, 3-2, and it should be all nice and clear. As you can see, he cleared it, immediately uses the 1 to disengage in case they want to keep the aggression on, especially with the slows coming out. There's a taunt, a great ultimate coming out. But this was a bit of a communication issue, honestly. We'll just play this back again. It was a small communication issue between Badger and Maniac. Maniac was a bit worried about being picked up. He did use the ultimate to block the snipe as well, because the snipe, if that connected, he would have probably been in a lot worse position than he was. But what they could have done in this situation was just use one or the other, because Badger used his shield at the same time to prevent the CC that came out. And you'll see this in a moment after the 3. So he's used the full combo here. He's got nothing, and immediately they try and go aggressive with this with the Athena rotation. At the same time, you'll see Badger shield now. So the shield came out, the snipe missed, but realistically where it came down to, Maniac's ult was good. Badger could have saved his shield for a little bit later. But that's a full disengage now. All he has to do is pop ultimate, the team will rotate, and it's a full disengage. He's going to back, he's got zeros here, he's got Badger here to cover. He doesn't have to stay if he wants to. He was looking at backing, but he's like, no, I'll farm one more wave first of all, just to get my gold up so I can get something else. If you notice, he's at 950 now. By the time those few minions do go down, he'll be a little bit higher up. It was Kronos for CDR. I thought it would be Comfrey. I wasn't certain. I wanted to say Rod. So, checking in, you can see that the Kronos pendant was picked up, and it was generally for the cooldown reduction, because you get MP5 anyway from the blue buff. But eventually, as the game goes on, you don't really need the you need that MP5 because you're not always going to be able to get the blue buff every time, because you might be doing extended fights, and having that can be good. I'm not going to criticize people picking Kronos pendant because it is a good item. Just talk about it. So he has aggressed again. Now this was a good play from there. That was a great shield coming out from Badger. And Maniac can't do anything there. He just has to play safe. He can't go aggressive. There's too many members. His big baby's on cooldown. The only good thing going for him there is the fact that he's got that Stone of Gaia. And itemization is a big part of laning, because the only one that's really going to do a lot of damage to him, honestly, in that situation, is going to be Repicas on that Humbats. So as long as Humbats doesn't go all the way deep for him, Maniac should kind of be okay with this itemization build because he's got Stone of Gaia. On top of that, notice how he's picked up Sprint too. Now Sprint 2 is really good on Vermana anyway, just so we can continue chasing while in Big Baby. But it also works against Aurora, because Aurora does like to use that blinding slow as often as possible. And that slow can really hurt. So look, notice how he's going to go straight back to lane, try and defend his tower one more time, and keep this going. The laning phase does go on a very long time in this game. But that's what SK want to do really with their composition, so just sustain up a little bit more. So God Fury fight's kicking off again. He's cleared his wave and he knows Comfrey's coming, but Comfrey just base, so he could be there sooner. He realises the aggression's gone, so he's like, right, I'm going to push this left-hand lane one more time then, while his team is still defending the God Fury. He knows he's got time. There's no sign of Comfrey just yet, and now he's going to get a free minion wave against Comfrey. He's going to look to back to base. He knows they've got a sentry down at the God Fury as well. Maniac gets a good opportunity there just to base one more time. Looks like he's working on the Witchblade here. Overall, if I could read my items right. Yeah, it's going to be a Witchblade overall. Now, Witchblade's going to help out against Ataraxia. It's also going to work out well against Repicas. So it will help out his team. He turns up late to this fight overall, but can he chase onto him? Oh, that portal ruined him! Oh, poor portal was rude. Captain Twig, why would you place a portal there? Did he go through that himself? Oh, I'm interested in whether he went through it himself or it was an accidental portal touch. Nothing worse than an accidental portal touch when you don't want to. We'll see what he did. It looks like he was going for Prime. Prime is in trouble here, honestly. Yeah, that Paul. That Paul. I hate you right now, Twig! That's what Maniac will be saying in head. It's like, damn, that was unfortunate. Prime was in a bit of trouble because he did get hit by the Umbrella Ring as well for the slow. But that's a full disengage. And overall, they wasted everything and didn't get anything out of that. Your whole team's still alive. Nobody died overall. Or did Badger die? Maybe I misread that. But he just forced to disengage and he's still trying to farm up and get bigger for his team. If you notice, he hung around mid there for a very long time because he knows Gold Fury's a threat. On top of that, his lane's pushed. On top of that, his mid laner had to go back to base as well. So if they tried to continue aggressing on tier 2, at least he'd be there to defend it, be able to clear it out as quick as possible. Nice blue buff spawn straight over to it. Notice how quickly both both these solo laners go straight for their blue. Comfrey's just got his, and immediately Maniac goes for his. They don't waste time leaving it up and going, oh yeah, my blue's up, I'll go and get it in a minute. They immediately go and take it down. So straight back over to lane, continue farming. And keep an eye on the map to see what's going on. Now there is a Gold Fury fight going on one more time. So they need to both be thinking about what's going to happen on this rotation. Is Comfrey going to pin him? Is Maniac going to pin Comfrey from getting to that fight? Or are they going to both look to rotate? Well, the call is both are going to rotate and look to fight. They've got time to. But Maniac's like, no, actually, he's seen Comfrey's left and he's like, I can get one more wave and get some more tower pressure on. Wait, I've changed my mind. And that's one of the things that can really hurt you is like, I can't make a call here, don't know what to do. Immediately, if you notice the positioning of SK Game, they're like, yo, we can't fight the Gold Fury right now, I have to back away. Maniac's like, okay, well, Reels was recalling anyway, I can farm one more wave, push that into tower, deny a bit of experience to Raw, then turn up for the fight. And that's exactly what happens there overall. Now he's going to turn up for the fight, they know the Gold Fury is underway. Let's see how this one plays out. We'll do it in a bit of slow-mo so I can try and cast it a little bit. Well, not cast it, but discuss it a little bit better. He comes into the fight late. Gold Fury is still standing, gets a nice kill onto Prime there just by charging, and now Big Baby on the backline. Who's his target focus? He's going to try and focus Raw away from the fight. Nope, changes his mind, going to focus out the front line. Ataraxia is going to be his focus target. He's looking for squishies generally. He realises Raw's not going to be the easiest one, and his main job is just to be a front line for his team, soak the damage. And it looks like Replica should go down here from that one. Reels picks him up. Now Maniac's still going to focus on zoning. That's generally what he's looking to do, is zone for his team, protect his team. He realises Ataraxia was going for Reels, the calls came out, immediately forces Ataraxia away again just by being Big Baby in the way. That Mez lasted forever, and that's why Zeros goes down. And now it's a 3-for-2 fight, but that Umbrella Rag was big! Just one more hill be enough. Rolls away to Ataraxia. Oh, this is a dead Ataraxia if I remember correctly. It should be. Say goodnight, sweet prince. That's the end of you, and now Maniac is 2-for-2. Solo and a Hunter versus a support and a solo. I'm okay in this situation, just keep an eye on mana bars, that's a big issue, and right now Maniac's is low, he's on full cooldown as well, just gonna babysit Reels, and that's what Maniac does. Notice how he doesn't go chasing kills, yeah? He ain't gonna find another kill right now, he's on full cooldown with his abilities, he hangs around and protects Reels for the most part, but then Reels hangs a little bit too long, and I think he survives anyway, he does survive. Now Maniac was kind of like caught in two minds there. What do? We can't fight this. We're just waiting around, waiting for them all to come back. He goes back to try and stop them recalling. A little bit too late for it. Realises they've gone back though because they didn't have a ward coverage there either. So now they know that everyone's full recalled. And where does Maniac go immediately? He goes straight back to his solo lane and continues the farm. On the way though, Cheeky finds a lovely mid camp. Thanks very much. Top banana. That'll help me catch up on experience a little bit against this Raw, who's still a little bit ahead of me. Now he's sat on 1700 gold here, he's got enough to finish off his Witchblade overall. But back to lane, going to be able to farm up and continue on. Now he probably loses his tower here. Notice when he recalled there, he clearly told Zeros, I really have to back to base. I'm out of mana, I've not got anything to really fight. And if I get rotated on, I'm in a lot of trouble. I need you to come and cover my lane, Zeros, right now. Otherwise, he's going to get a free tier 1 tower. So that's exactly what happens on this map. He goes back, gets his Witchblade, gets his sprint finished. Now he's starting to work on the crit. And crit on the mana is really underestimated. It's quite disgusting. But changes his mind. Notice how he changed his mind. They went, no, I can get crit. Wait a minute, I can get full weakening curse and a sentry. I'm going to do that. So the weakening curse will stop the healing coming out from Isis on her ultimate as well as Raw on his heals. So it works on two ways. On top of that, with the weakening curse as well, as you can see, it does remove ground speed. So movement speed of the gods is reduced by 40%, which can really help in a fight as well. Now Gold Fury being aggressed on one more time. They realise Badger's in trouble. Look at this rotation from him now. He knows Zero's on the other side of the map and he's like, yo, I'll be here to help out. I can do it. This was a good call from both of them. I'm just going to pause this. When this call... Okay, we need to move that. Let's go back because that sound is going to drive me crazy. When... Oh, there we go. When the call comes out here, Maniac was rotating back to his solo lane, okay? But what happened was, the call came from Agilitas that the jungler was in solo lane. Maniac had clearly gone back to base, and they were like, let's go Gold Fury right now, Agilitas. Let's see if we can actually get a fight, pick off Badger, and look for the Gold Fury. Luckily, though, Maniac was aware of what was going on, realising Zeros was there, was like, I can be here, and especially with my Witchblade now, I can make an impact. Now the fight doesn't go great at all for Agilitas, but they do try and make the most of it. Now with Maniac being on the front line, look at who he focuses as well. He's got his Witchblade and he's after Repicas. He turns his attention to the next squishy, pretty prime when Repicas gets away. He realises he can't chase certain targets down because they're just too mobile or they've used their escapes already. So he sticks to the ones that are on the front line and can be squishy. And also, Weakening Curse comes out to deny healing overall here. So if the Circle of Protection does come out, it's not going to do anything. Maniac on the front line does good work. And then look at that! For his trouble, he's going to find a nice Kanye life in his face, get a nice assist for that. And now he's looking to zone some more. He was choosing between two targets there. He had Repicas and Ra, forces them both back to the Gold Fury. Now, notice this as well. When the Gold Fury gets started, we're just going to turn the camera on. When the Gold Fury gets started, generally in a Gold Fury fight, you want at least one person on zoning duty at all times. What's a great character to have for zoning duty? That's Vamana. So Vamana on the front line here is going to look to zone both of these out. Now the one issue he's got, and the team need to realise and should realise, is that Repicas has jumps and leaps to get away. And Comfrey does have mobility, but at the same time, Maniac should be able to deny Comfrey from entering this fight, but they can't stop Repicas getting in here. And all Maniac's job is to do, is to deny them getting involved. He throws down a ward there as well, just to give vision. And keep an eye on if they're going to rotate back in and look for the pick. And with that ward as well, it allows Zeros to rotate in, get some nice pressure on again. Ra's in a bit of trouble here, but they're just zoning, really. If they get a kill, bonus! Super bonus. But if they don't get a kill, his only job is to zone and keep them all busy. Keep them all busy while the Gold Fury still goes down. We're still playing it in slow mode just so you can see exactly what he does. Notice when he starts getting low, he's like, right, I'm backing out now, guys. I'm low. Twig supports him as well, just to give him some angles around the side in case he needed to portal back out, in case he got too much. And immediately the disengage comes out. They're going to probably pick up mid-harpies as well on the way, and everybody recalls. And that was a great play from, overall from SK Gaming to be able to secure that. Bit messy from Agilitas, they could have done that a little bit better. They'll know that themselves. But now with the Witchblade online, now he works in his crit after the Weakening Curse. Checking in with Ra as well, his lane opponent. He's got Obsidian Shard, so he's going to start doing a lot more burst. He already had that during that last fight. But now he's going to be able to start looking in. And generally as a solo lane, if you're the frontline tank, which is what Vamana is, you want to be checking out how the game's going overall. And so, when you're checking it, Ra's an issue, but Ra's always an issue. Everybody knows this. He's got magical resistance now, so he can deal with the front line of the mages. He's also got the Witchblade. Now, Witchblade gives physical protection as well. A lot of people underestimate that and don't realise it when they look at the item. The Witchblade gives physical protection. It also gives the debuff to attack speed as well, so he's good against the physical damage dealers as well. Not just for reducing the attack speed, but actually reducing the amount of damage you take from them. And then he works in the crit. So right now, Vamana's getting to this sort of build area where he's kind of going to be annoying and a big issue to try and bring down because he's quite tanky. So back to solo lane one more time. If you can get the tower, bonus, but unfortunately for him, Comfrey's here. He's going to get rotated on. He doesn't have a ward here, and now he's like, well, this was a mistake. Now, they burst a lot onto Maniac here. They might be able to pick him up. Big Baby does get popped, but that Celestial Beam could cost him his life. Lucky for him, though. Gets back to tower range and a great rotation from his team. Go back to the start of this fight. Look at his aggression all of a sudden. Pause. When we've not seen Maniac be aggressive at all in this lane realistically. He's done a couple of love taps to test his damage out against Comfrey in the lane, but nothing really aggressive. And the one time he goes aggressive is now. Why is that? He doesn't really have vision of where everybody is. He can see that Repicas is over here right now. There's a ward to give vision of him rotating through this area. But he doesn't have vision of anyone else, but he's not too scared. Why is he not too scared? The issue is he's Vamana and he's late game. He's got all the itemization we were talking about. He does eat a lot. He forces out a circle of protection. What happened to my replay? No! No! The game goes down.